I'm from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ken Godler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in National Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Tonight, Back to Eden Church pastor sentenced to over 14 years imprisonment. A $7 bill in the pipeline to commemorate Fiji's Olympic win. And World Bank report predicts resilient growth for Fiji. "75-year-old Yowane Vakandranu, the leader of the Back to Eden ministry, has been sentenced to 14 years and 2 months imprisonment by the Suva High Court. Vakandranu was convicted of 4 counts of rape. Tokasa Rainima reports.
In sentencing Vakandranu, High Court Judge Justice Vincent Pereira said both victims left school in Form 6 because the pastor told them that education in this world is corrupt. Another aggravating factor highlighted by the court was the pre-planning and the deception involved in the crime. The judge highlighted that the age difference was more than 50 years between Vakandranu and each victim. The pastor gave the victims leadership roles in the church he established in 2007. He also made them believe that he was their doctor and their spouse, claiming that his teachings were based on the Holy Bible. Pereira says the pastor isolated his victims from their families and took them to Lombasa, where he sexually exploited them. The victims, who's been a member of his church from the age of 13, remains deceived, even at the time she gave evidence in court. Vakandranu will be eligible for parole after 12 years and 2 months behind bars for raping 2 young women who were members of his church, saying it was the work of God. The pastor has been separately convicted of 2 counts of indecent assault in another case and sentenced to an additional 12 months behind bars. Tokas Rainima, FBC News.
Commemoration of Fiji's Olympic gold medal victory will not only be minted in coin, there'll be a note as well. Reserve Bank Governor Barry Whiteside told FBC News that a blue 50-cent coin and most likely a $7 note will be produced. Maggie Boyle with this exclusive story.
The golden win that stamped Fiji's dominance of the Sevens game into Olympic history will, it seems, have its own legal tender. It's understood a $7 bill is in the pipeline, which will feature Ben Ryan and the 13 Olympians.
I'm not too sure whether we will use the face on a note, but we're discussing possibilities.
So can you confirm that to us? Is that...
We're looking at the possibility as well of a note.
4 years ago, the Reserve Bank minted another golden victory, the first of its kind, celebrating para-Olympian Ilyasa Delana winning the high jump. For the Sevens team, in addition to a note, a blue 50-cent piece is expected to be in circulation next year.
It takes a bit of time because we've got to look at the designs that have been proposed. We've made some suggestions to the Mint. We have the Mint already lined up, and we're just this week we've looked at some final designs.
The note and coin will not only be collector's editions, they will also be a tangible reminder of how Fiji's sporting prowess conquered all odds to win the country's first Olympic gold medal. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
5 people are homeless after a fire destroyed 2 flats in Sambeto, Nandi at around midday. 3 people were inside the 2 flats at the time but managed to escape unharmed. Firefighters managed to save 3 neighboring homes. Another fire in Nailanga has left 4 people homeless, while in Makbul Road, Nasinu, firefighters managed to save a double-story house. Growth in Fiji is expected to remain resilient over the next 3 years, according to a new World Bank report. However, the same report says we still face significant risks and need to take measures to reduce financial vulnerabilities. Savaira Tamboa has more.
The World Bank has expressed confidence in the growth prospect for Fiji, and senior economist Misudo Kida says the outlook remains strong despite TC Winston.
And according to that event, we, along with the government, revised down the growth forecast for this year to 2.4%, which is slightly lower than the previous couple of years. But we expect, as we show in the report, it would expect it to bounce back strongly next year, 2017, and to remain in the above trend, historical trend growth rate for the medium term.
In the short run, according to Mizudo, it is important that government focuses on reconstruction and recovery. She also elaborates on the medium-term perspective.
It's important for the government to outline how it would implement the fiscal consolidation, because you expanded spending because of the reconstruction. Now you have to go back to the normal, and that should be done in the medium term, because you don't want to reduce growth too rapidly.
A video conference was also held with World Bank Chief Economist Sudhir Shetty, who recommends the East Asia and Pacific region need to strengthen legal and regulatory frameworks and enhance consumer protection. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
People in Lautoka have suffered extensive damage to their homes and crops caused by the Asian subterranean termites. Ellen Stolz visited some affected families in Tavakumbu, Lautoka to see the extent of the damage.
Manchal Sharma has spent thousands of dollars in repairs. Her main source of income was rent from these 3 flats, but ever since the termites destroyed one flat, word has spread and the flats are now vacant.
They start eating the walls inside, and when we knock, sometimes we do something when we want to repaint or do anything, any kind of work. So as soon as, even if we hammer it with our hand, we can just listen to the vacant sound.
She does her part and lights fires at night, but says the problem has only gotten worse over the last 5 years. Arun Kumar, who lives close by, tells us the same story. The termite situation is getting worse. We found it in dried, untreated timber and the mango trees here.
This is the home of the Dutt family here at Tavakumbu in Lautoka, who have been facing the dreaded termite for the last 5 years. When Tropical Cyclone Winston hit earlier this year, the timber was just not strong enough to hold.
I live here with 3 young children, and it is so hard to survive during TC Winston. My husband passed away 30 years ago, and my son is employed only part-time, so there is hardly any money to do repairs.
Biosecurity Authority of Fiji Executive Chairman Xavier Khan says people need to understand that there is no way of eradicating this problem.
Their building codes require to basically pour chemicals in the foundation before you start building. But in Fiji, we don't have those things in place. Obviously, it will be very costly to have those things in place. But we have to understand that authority cannot just contain or maintain.
Khan adds the problem is made worse when people don't adhere to restrictions meant to contain the termites. The authority has also brought in specialized equipment to find and destroy the Asian subterranean termites in Lautoka and Lambasa. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, TSLB staff directed to prioritise student needs. And government secures $15 million from the Global Environment Facility. Stay with us.
Yung bula bina tangko epeli untuk taliten la porong bula FM nabu.
Nambon tuan jinanga nam bula FM enusur. Bula FM nambon tuan ser.
Bula sia puni ba Lambasa nada ko Vila Merikibi. Bula FM nambon tuan ser. Talita itu ngai Lambasa.
Bula FM nambon 2 ser.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. There is a need to make the hospitals people-friendly. The plea was made by Health and Medical Services Minister Rosie Akbar this morning while addressing the senior management team. Pranita Prakash reports.
Concerns have often been raised on the attitude of medical professionals toward patients, and Health Minister Rosie Akbar says this needs to change.
When we go around talking to people, one of the things that people do talk about is the attitude of our medical professionals. Okay? Simply ignoring a person, somebody who enters the hospital is in pain, simply ignoring them and walking past them.
Akbar also outlined some of the strategies that will be implemented to improve services.
One of the first things that we are doing is engaging more locums to help with the long queues that normally we are confronted with early mornings and late afternoons, and that is currently going on at Gandhi Hospital. We are trying to engage more GPs to come and fill up.
I can't see any changes from there, even though I've gone to the hospital like plenty of times, but then I don't see any changes at all. They really need to upgrade there.
Services at hospitals should improve by now, as a lot of people get sick, and a lot of people cannot afford medical help. Some have no jobs, and when they go to hospitals, they face a lot of difficulties.
More than 30 senior managers from hospitals around the country gathered today to discuss plans, policies and challenges to improve the health service. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy has directed the Tertiary Scholarship and Loans Board to treat student issues with priority. Dr. Reddy gave the directive at the Staff Professional Development Workshop in Asese Suba today. Ali Kimbia has more.
The highest level of service delivery to all students is a must for Tertiary Scholarship and Loans Board.
I want to emphasize that your core business is to ensure that these students who are studying in various tertiary institutions, their interest is paramount and nothing else.
Dr. Reddy says over the years there have been lapses in the TEL scholarship, but the ministry and the board are working on addressing these issues.
I must admit that the number of complaints have come down substantially, significantly.
TSLB Chair Dixon Sito says it's vital for staff to fully understand their work and deliver for students looking to the board for education assistance.
The job you're doing is very, very important. It may not have the immediate effect of today, but you are actually helping to train the future leaders of this country.
Major changes have been brought about at the Institute. Following the appointment of a new chief executive, the board is revamping its website to make it a one-stop shop for students who won't have to wait long hours at any TSLB center. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
10 people have been arrested for planting marijuana in Kandavu under Operation Davuraka, which has resumed. Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tundravu says key areas targeted were Navosa, parts of Vanuolevu and Kandavu. ACP Tundravu says the operation continues across the main divisions with thousands of suspected marijuana plants seized, tested and destroyed.
The lead on from there on some of other areas that we have to look into, especially in the Suba, where some of the outlets have been identified. And simultaneously, once we conduct an operation in Kandavu, we're also doing raids in Suba.
The government has secured $15 million from the Global Environment Facility to conserve natural resources, combat land degradation and continue the fight against climate change. Ellen Stahls reports 7 critical areas have been identified.
Minister for Environment Praveen Kumar Bala says Fiji's Ridge to Reef project is an endeavour to ensure that our economy is vibrant, resilient and sustainable.
At the outset, I must say that there is a very strong commitment from government of Fiji, and that's why our funding partners are so keen to come forward and assist us. And as mentioned earlier, that in October they will make an announcement for further funding.
Fiji has been receiving millions of dollars in assistance from the Global Environment Facility since 1991. The program is designed by Pacific Island countries to use Global Environment Facility funding for national priorities.
We have identified areas where we're going to focus, and there are also some priority areas that we would like to see and do things. Because as I've said, that there's been a lot of stories about it, but I think we'll have to stop these stories and get to work. And that's what we're going to do. And my department, Ministry of Environment, is going to focus on all these areas.
The priority catchment under this project are the Mba River, Tuva River and Waindina River, the Rewa Delta on Viti Levu, and Lambasa River, Vunivia River and Tunaloa District on Vanua Levu. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Staff and students of Mahatma Gandhi Memorial High School today commemorated the man after whom the school is named. Mahatma Gandhi is remembered as one of the greatest champions of justice and human dignity. Grace Narayan was at the school and files this report.
Mahatma Gandhi Memorial High School, celebrating the life of a freedom fighter who believed peaceful resistance could end all conflicts. Gandhi Day celebrations at NGM High School was a time to reflect on and be reminded of the contributions he made not only to India, but the struggle for independence all over the world.
2nd October, known as the Gandhi Jayanti, is celebrated worldwide as Gandhi's birthday and is also marked as International Day of Non-Violence in his honor.
Karan, who served as Fiji's High Commissioner to India, says many of the rights enshrined in a constitution were issues that Gandhi dedicated his life to.
In fact, at MGM High School, we give a lot of importance to this particular function of ours because our school is named after the great leader.
It's a remarkable event where people gather and we celebrate the achievements that students have received throughout the year.
Gandhi Day celebrations commemorates the birthday of a very prestigious leader for worldwide.
This year's Gandhi Day celebration theme is striving towards harmony of thoughts, words and deeds in educating the child to meet the needs of the nation. Grace Narayan, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with all the very latest.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening. In sports after the break, IDC gets underway in Suva. And the stage is set for the 2016 Fiji International. This and more coming up.
मैं जुगेन नंबिलो तालेबू से रेडियो फिजी 2 24 घंटे मेरे साथ साथ रहता है।
हम मंगेरी ताउका के ललित से हमारे दिल में और दिमाग में खाली रेडियो फिजी 2 है और सभी भाइयों से आग्रह करते हैं कि रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनना चाहिए।
मेरा नाम अभिनेश है, मैं निंदी का रहने वाला हूँ। मैं सभी समय रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता हूँ क्योंकि उसमें आईना प्रोग्राम रहता है।
हाय, मैं उमेश नसासा नाबुआ से मैं जब
The Fiji Football's annual general meeting was held this morning with a number of motions passed and one being defeated. The most notable motion passed today being a restriction on the number of terms a person can serve as Fiji FA president. Vasnil Prasad with the details.
The Fiji Football Association has passed the motion allowing a person to serve as president for 12 years because there were previously no limits under the Fiji FA constitution. The Fiji FA annual general meeting endorsed the proposal this morning, and current President Rajesh Patel says this removes a loophole.
The motion for the term of the president, not increasing it, it's limiting it. Basically, it will be a limit of 3 by 4 year terms. A president can maximum stay in a position of the presidency.
Any president of the Fiji FA will be allowed to contest and serve 3 terms with an election every 4 years. The AGM has also rescinded the honorary membership of Nardeo Mishra for defaming Fiji football and President Rajesh Patel on social media.
As far as him blabbering on Facebook and everything in social media, we have reported to the cybercrime unit, and personally, the person he has taken defamation, we will be doing a defamation suit against him.
A Fiji FA academy will be built in Lambasa next year and was also agreed by all the districts. A motion by Lautoka Football to allow new recruits to play for their districts in the existing season was defeated.
We have rejected it and everything because it contravenes FIFA regulations of player transfers in one window, and that is the reason we had to, and all the districts accepted it, and the districts were in favor of Fiji FA's decision.
With all the motions put forward, Fiji FA plans to run smoothly until the AGM next year. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Fiji FA Chief Executive Bob Kumar will retire at the end of the year. Making the announcement during the AGM this morning, Kumar says it's time to take a break and spend time with his family. Kumar has served Fiji FA for 29 years, joining the association as the Assistant Secretary in 1987.
I have served the association for a number of years, and I think it is time to make way for other people to come in. Of course, as Rajesh has said, I'll be still part of the organization on a consultancy basis and on a part-time basis, so I'll be attached.
The vacancy for the CEO's post will be advertised soon. The 2016 Courts Inter-District Championship got off to a shocking start, with Nandronga holding Lautoka to a 1-1 draw in the first match at 1 p.m. today. The higher-ranked Blues were tipped to win the game easily, but Nandronga had other plans. Here are the goals from the match.
Side keep the pressure. Samuel Adrundro on the broadcast side drives a low one across field. It comes to Shamil Rao. Shamil cuts it and places it in, and from the right side, an easy attempt and a poor defense. Kumar comes in with a cross, stepped away by Bokini. Then on there's a nice play by Chontani Bucks. He squares it back, and Nandronga have equalized through Jitendra Kumar.
In the second match of the afternoon, Rewa and Ba played out a 1-1 draw as well. A vigorous Rewa side found the net early in the match before the men in black hit back with the equalizer.
Looking to slide it through as they slide through, and then sneaking through. An own goal we would count it as Rewa's Epeli Sokuru has opened the account for the Rewa side in the 13th minute of play. Let's see what happens. Tony Tuibuna coming across, and then he places it as an equalize. What a relief, wouldn't it be for the Bar fans, won't it, Indra?
We now cross live to the ANZ Stadium, where Vasnil Prasad has an update for us from the tournament. Vasnil.
Yes, Jamie, good evening from ANZ Stadium, and before I tell you more, the current match which is underway right now is Nandi and Raketi, and Raketi is again giving a tough time to the Nandi side. The underdogs are being held 1-0 by Nandi. Raketi was leading 1-0 in the first half, a goal scored by Sanela Wanganitakau, and then Nandi came to equalize in the second half, a goal from Ame Vatunio. But here with me is Fiji FA President Mr. Rajesh Patel. Mr. Patel, today's AGM, first of all, it went successfully?
Oh yes, very successful AGM, and if you can see, previously this AGM used to take about 4 or 5 hours. This AGM was held in 1 hour, and people saw, the district saw it, the transparency of the current administration, and we didn't have any problems in AGM. The finance and everything was discussed, and all those things, and other motions were discussed in the AGM, and very successful AGM, and the districts were happy with what happened.
With Raketi's surprising result currently, what do you anticipate in the other coming days before the IDC's round up here in Suva?
As you can always see, now you can't predict which team is going to win it, and every team has been given surprises in the result, and even Nandronga this morning, held off, and also the same thing, and Ba and Rewa match too. So this is something that we have already been saying before, that once the development and the coaches gets developed into the districts, and the districts will benefit, and so will the fans and everyone come to enjoy our successful courts IDC.
Yes, there you go. So a very successful days left here before we round up the IDC. But to tell you the results, which was held here, the games held in the morning, Nandronga held Lautoka 1-0, and then the other game was Barewa, which was also a 1-0 draw game. So winner is yet to be decided. Lambasa Suva game is up next, Jamie.
Thanks for that, Vasnil. Now, the Fiji International Golf Tournament continues to grow since its inception in 2014. This year's competition, which is building up to be the biggest yet, will see an increase in the number of participants, prize money and global audience. Rohit there with the details.
Fanfare, we launched the Fiji International.
Prime Minister Veringambeni Marama, while hosting the tournament players and officials at dinner last night, told them how the tournament has taken shape in the last 3 years.
We have taken the Fiji International to a new level through our partnership with the European Tour. It marks a special moment for sport in Fiji. This tournament will broadcast to 450 million homes located on every continent.
The Prime Minister was overwhelmed at the number of people who will get to see a glimpse of Fiji in the next 4 days.
I have marveled at the athletic prowess of the very talented professionals that have come to Fiji and what are there year after year. I have also watched with great pride how this tournament has continued to rise in prestige and attract wider international appeal.
In just 3 short years, the Fiji International has...
PGA Australia Chief Executive Brian Thorburn talked about the benefits of the tournament to the tour in Fiji.
will benefit from the Fiji International being broadcast into new markets never previously reached. We'll benefit from bigger audiences in the markets our tournament is distributed, especially in the important Asian market. And the Fiji and Tourism Fiji brands will reap over Fiji $20 million worth of media equivalency benefits from the broadcast using Nielsen QI measurement.
By one of the strongest fields.
The Fiji International tees off at Natandola Bay Championship Golf Course tomorrow, with the champion to be crowned on Sunday. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
And the stage is set for this year's Fiji International. While unfavorable weather took its toll on golfers last year, perfect conditions have been forecast this time around. Rohit Deo with this report from Natandola.
A beautiful looking Natandola Bay Championship golf course. The greens are looking in its best shape ever.
Well, this is what we expect from Fiji. I mean, it's a beautiful, as they say, beautiful one day, perfect the next. And last year we were very unfortunate. We had high winds and it was a bit colder than normal. But this year the forecast looks good, and everyone's having such a great time out here. I mean, it's going to be a special week for everyone, I think.
If the weather holds, some good scores are expected.
The wind's a lot more calmer this year than it was last year. The last day last year was really good, well, a lot calmer than it was the first 3 days. So, I'm learning the golf course a lot more. It would be nice to win here. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to do my best to, see if I can pull it off.
Golfers are raring to tee off.
It means a lot. It validate kind of what I did last weekend and validate that I'm on the right path. And anytime you win anytime, it's important. And it'd be a good way to kind of start my off season. This is kind of the beginning of a new season for me right now, and it'd be great to start with a W.
More than $3 million is up for grabs at the 4-day meet. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Still with the Fiji International tournament favourite and 11-time professional winner Brant Snedeker arrived in the country last night. Snedeker was part of the USA team that won the Riders' Cup over the weekend. He has also won this year's Farmers Open and goes into tomorrow's tournament as the top bid.
I take a ton of confidence out of the last week just because I was able to handle the pressure on Sunday. That was probably the most pressure I've ever been under in my life, and to have the whole team dependent on you and knowing that my match was crucially important at the time, and every swing I felt awful on and didn't know if I could pull it off, and being able to pull it off and make the putts I had to under the stress situation.
Snedeker also had 6 top 10 finishes on the PGA Tour this year. That's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
More than 23,000 Fiji Electricity Authority prepaid customers in rural remote areas can use Digicel's mobile money to top up their FEA accounts. FEA and Digicel Fiji have partnered to provide this service. It covers those living in the rural remote areas of Viti Levu, Vanua Levu, Ovalau, and will soon be introduced to customers in Taviuni.
It's a huge benefit to customers not to have to walk long distances to top up their power and to buy tokens, and it also puts the control firmly in the customer's hands, and also it's a strong efficiency for FEA in terms of visiting.
Our presence in the villages physically is not there, so we tap on modernization of technology to get our services to their doorstep.
It was another warm and sunny day with cool breeze across most parts of the country today. Looking at the temperatures, Ba was the warmest at 32 degrees, while Autoka and Ambassa trailed at 31, leaving Savu Savu the coolest at 29. Tomorrow is forecast to be much more like today, with more sunshine expected in the country. And further outlook, we're looking on to Friday and the weekend. Sunny periods are likely to continue. At sea, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Back to Eden Church pastor sentenced to over 14 years imprisonment, a $7 bill in the pipeline to commemorate Fiji's Olympic win, and World Bank report predicts resilient growth for Fiji. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. On to this week's poll question, we are asking, should corporal punishment be reintroduced for violent criminals? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rakiriki Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Silipa from Tavor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.